Hello everybody, this is Level Up Lani and welcome to this audio talk. I hope you guys are doing quite well today, and in this video I'm going to be talking on a topic based on my gameplay reflections of Coffee Talk, specifically Coffee Talk 1. So as you guys know from my channel, I've been playing the game Coffee Talk 1 for quite a lot, I would say a while. It's not a long time yet, quite a while, almost a long time. And it's a very good, compelling, interactive visual novel game in my opinion. That's how I'd describe it. And as I played it and interacted with the characters, I have seen a lot of topics, or a few topics, which I feel I could share my reflections on based on playing that game. So before I begin, just gonna let you guys know, sometimes I could talk for long periods of time, because that's what I'm actually like. If you leave me to have a free talking, I could talk for a long time. So if you guys want, get yourself a beverage or a coffee or something to eat, because I don't know how long this will go on for. But I got my tea right here as well, just to show you guys, or let you guys hear. ASMR. And yeah, when I'm usually sitting down chilling with a cup of tea and my microphone here, I know it's going to take a pretty long time. Well, the duration of talking is going to be pretty long. So, first of all, get yourselves a drink. Second of all, if you know me by now, I know there's going to be some new people on this channel. If you're new, hello. Welcome to the channel. And if you've been here for a while, you guys know my talks, or what I like to share in terms of when I'm just chatting on my gameplay or like this. I don't script anything. I want the flow to be as natural as possible. If I stutter, I sound socially awkward, or I don't sound apparently how social media is expecting you to sound, to look cool or nonchalant. So I'm very unscripted on this. My talk is not scripted on here. So if you're the type of person who doesn't like people naturally talking and has their little ums and ahs and has to take pauses for a couple of seconds to figure out their words, this might not be for you. But if you want to enjoy the gameplay and my other content, my gameplay channels, you can free to watch them. This is just me being more open about certain aspects of myself and doing some audio game reflections of what I've learned from the games that I play. Because I technically like to learn from everything, you know. I learn a lot from different places, not just from books and educational literature. I can learn from a lot of places, and it's all about matters of perspective. But in this game, in this audio today, what I'm going to be talking about with you guys is my first, let's say, reflection on the game Coffee Talk, and how I feel like that relates and connects to my certain aspects of my real life. And the title of this audio is Coffee Talk: Why It's Better to Be the Witness of Life than the Individualized Character. Now, if you've never played Coffee Talk, this might be a bit confusing. So if you're a bit confused on what I'm saying, I recommend just searching Coffee Talk walkthrough or playthrough, and just watch a few minutes of how that game is played, and it should make sense. Because in Coffee Talk, you play as let's say you play as this witness of a barista. You don't really have a face. You're basically just talking to the characters, and while you're sort of running the story of the game, because you are the player, it looks like you're not the main focus of the game, so to speak. You are part of the story, and let's say you have a little bit more of the importance of the story since you're kind of like the protagonist, but it's not all about you in the story of Coffee Talk. It's also exploring the stories and natures of different characters within that, and see what they're going through and how you can help support their experience. So from that, it's also becoming like a witness to other people's lives, or to a life in general. And in the world of society that we live in today, some people absolutely dread or would not want to end up being the witness of their life, basically, or in the world, or where, let's say in the world of social media, where there's a lot of pressure to be the main character, or to be seen, or to be heard, or to be liked, or to be loved and cherished. The worst fear for those types of people is just basically becoming the witness. not really being recognized or known, just being like the supporting background character of multiple different stories that you are slightly supporting. And I know for some people that could be an absolute nightmare. And no judgment there. Everybody's different and everybody likes their things and their different things. But personally for me, it sort of relates to my life as well. So not only do I enjoy coffee talk because I'm being the witness of a barista that is watching other people's stories play out, I also like that in my life as well. I feel like I'm the witness to my own life story in a way. And I don't really want to be, let's say, out there. And I'm going to try to be more specific because this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. I'm having my tea. I'm sipping my tea. Give me a sec. In my opinion, from my experience, there is this pressure in this society or social media world to always be seen, to always produce highlight reels, to always be the one showing what you need to do, to always be the main character. And in some places, in some contexts, in some situations, that is beneficial. It's good if you want to build confidence, if you're low on confidence or self-esteem. And it can actually benefit you. But also everything has a, let's say, an opposite side or a dark side as well. That need to be seen, that need to put everything out, to show everything of yourself without any sort of breaks or a little bit of privacy, can turn incredibly toxic, or you can technically become, let's say, a performer. That's the best way to describe it. You can become a performer if that becomes too extreme. And there were certain aspects of my life where I felt like I had to be the individualized character. I had to project myself out to the world. I had to perform. I had to always show highlight reels. But at this point in my life, and probably going onward, I feel so much better, honestly, just being the witness to my life rather than the individualized character, which means the other people who are, like in coffee talk, explaining their stories and we see them going through it. And it's not because there is this showing off. It's not because I'm flexing or anything like that. It's just because, for me, I feel the benefit of being the witness is that you gain more perspective, you gain more wisdom. You're actually able to sit quietly with yourself and actually process what is actually truly you, vis what was programmed into you and what is truly not you through programs and thinking what you should be and false identities, etc. I would definitely say being the witness of your own life rather than choosing to be the individualized character helps your mind to expand more on what is truly more important to you and what makes you actually you and truly more authentic. It can also help you understand what certain paths you don't take down, and also when you're looking at others being individualized characters or needing to show off or to present themselves all the time, it actually gives you a reflection of what you may not actually want. And the reason I'm speaking very carefully is because this is such a very complex and nuanced topic, and it has so many layers. But for this topic, I'm just explaining for me why in my life I feel better being the witness. Constantly needing to be the individualized character puts a lot of mental strain and psychological strain on you. And you'll constantly focus more on being the individualized character yourself or the persona that you show to the world than actually living as your real true self. And as I realized going through these years, constantly being focused on maintaining the individualized character and not actually coming back to being the witness, which is your true self, is one of the major things which can cause a lot of exhaustion and a lot of burnout. A lot of people will say, like, truthfully, that burnout and stuff happens because of work, taking care of family, looking up, like, errands, tasks, and I'm not undermining that. That is also part of the life and the burnout of life as well. That is a part of it. But if we're focusing more on the internal psychological aspects, what I'm seeing here is that also And if you're into like spiritual teachings, I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible. The maintaining of the ego, or the individualized self, the individualized program self, which makes up an ego, is actually the majority part of the reasons why people get very exhausted and burnt out in the first place. It's one of the biggest major factors, because it feels like you're constantly having to maintain an individualized identity, which is constantly absorbing and sucking your energy to be maintained, but your real self is starting to feel tired, dry, and constantly malnourished. And I felt that for myself, to be honest, because I felt like for previous number of years, when I felt like I had to, maintain a version of myself which I thought was needed, that was the majority of the reasons why I was feeling a lot tired and burnt out, because I felt like I was having to maintain an individualized character or persona that people would want to see. But that was costing my real self and causing me to go through, let's say, emotional and spiritual malnourishment. And now I'm at the point where it's like, you know what? This is causing so much damage that I had to literally go back and recalibrate and actually rethink my steps. I realised to myself, I actually enjoy being more of the witness to my life. Now, witness doesn't mean I don't take actions. It doesn't mean I sit there being lazy and do nothing at all. But it means that I'm not so attached to the programs of what I think I need to be in order to function in society, or think I would get the things that I was intending to get. And I think that for me, it's also come with a part of uncertainty, which is also in Coffee Talk. Just to let you guys know, I'm playing Coffee Talk for the very first time. I've not played it before. I've not played it before this game. I am playing Coffee Talk for the very first time. So I'm also experiencing the uncertainties of what happens within the game as I am playing it. And that also applies to my life as well, because in being the witness, I'm also learning that as being a witness, I'm able to easily embrace more of uncertainty instead of needing concrete facts or concrete outcomes. And I feel what may drive a lot of people, let's say emotionally insane or psychologically insane, is this constant desperate need for certainty, when certainty in this life is not guaranteed. And I know for the human condition, that is one of the scariest things to process, that there may be no concrete outcomes or concrete results to life or the human life, and everything seems to be pretty uncertain. So, because that happens, or that is a thing that happens, it's like the individualized self, the ego, is constantly concentrated on needing concrete brick outcomes. But because life doesn't work like that, it doesn't work out exactly that way. But that is what, in some cases, causes the trauma. And that did for me, until I realised and embraced the fact that because there is no genuine certainty, and the only genuine certainty you can have is within yourself and how you respond to certain situations outside. When you go back as the witness and you go, I can't control what is going on right out here, but I can manage and regulate how I respond to the situation as the witness to life, or the witness to my life. For me, in my experience, as it is in Coffee Talk, it makes the process of going through experiences much more smoother and easier. I'm not saying you don't go through pain or surprises, you do, but you're able to process it easier than if you were functioning from an individualized character that was desperate and gripping for certain needs and outcomes. I also feel by becoming the witness to my own life as well, instead of the individualized character, life is becoming more easy for me because I'm going through a sort of flow. For example, I am talking with you guys here right now, and I have always said whenever I'm talking or chatting about a subject which is genuine to me, I do not like to script my stuff. Because I feel like by scripting my stuff, I'm saying for me, if everybody else wants to script their stuff and it helps them, great. Not judging anybody else, I'm talking about myself. But when I script my stuff, and I feel like I had to script and talk through a script, that would be the individualized me, the individualized character, needing to create some sort of control to produce a concrete outcome. But in a world of uncertainty, that probably would not work out, because for me, it would just basically botch everything up and I would probably forget a lot more stuff. But for me, by coming here and just talking with you guys as I am, not thinking about how I have to word or correct myself or edit myself, and just talking naturally as I am, that working as the witness like that for me creates a flow. And that flow helps me to get what I need to get out faster and better. And there's no blocks to the results of that flow of talking. I'm like that in my life as well. I know a lot of people in like, let's say, I forgot, entrepreneur world say create goals. Goals are good. Not saying that is bad. But there are certain parts of life where goals may not be able to be applied or cannot be applied. And you have to walk on the path of uncertainty and sort of not knowing where you're going to get where you need to go. So when I wake up each day, I try and think to myself, how can I best serve myself as the witness? And how can I then best help the world or do something for the world based on being my most authentic self and being the witness to my life? And today it's come out in this very immaculate, beautiful recording, and it has come out that way. It could come out in other ways, but it's come out this way today in this form. Also, I feel like by choosing to be the witness to my life instead of the individualized character, it has helped me to create more, let's say, detachment. That is one of my main focuses. It's not easy, I must admit, but I'm always now practicing the art of detachment. And I don't mean in the New Age manifestation sense. I just generally mean in life, in order to experience, the best way to experience this life is through certain detachments of certain things. And one of the most powerful things for me, which I have cultivated and I'm now implementing and embodying, is detaching from the individualized character. So detaching from the individualized character to now becoming the witness, observing the individualized character. And there is a lot of calmness and freedom to that. You don't feel like you have to perform anymore. You can still do what you need to do, but there is no psychological pressure coming from behind your subconscious with it. And even if things go uncertain or things don't work out, you're again not attached to the outcomes, at least for me. And as I've implemented that and embodied that, life has become not only much easier to process, but it's become actually much more beautiful, even through the toughest situations. And the way I've seen that is also through the game Coffee Talk, strangely enough. And I've played multiple games from when I was a teenager until now. So I've played a massive amount of games. Lots. my PS3 and all those other gaming consoles throughout my life. But I found that game was the one which helped me to actually see this perspective in this way and actually talk about it in this way. But what I'm going to say is, guys, is that for me, my life is similar to Coffee Talk. No, I'm not a barista, but though I actually like the gameplay style, which is you're actually the witness to other people's stories, and you are helping support their roles, but you're not being the actual protagonist to their role. I would say you're like the protagonist about 25%. But you're not like the full 100% protagonist of the story. And that sort of calmness, that sort of detachment, that sort of seeing life in multiple perspectives from different angles and not make it all about your angle, that is what my life is as well. And for me, it is much more beautiful and beneficial than needing to be the individualized character, parading and showing myself around to everyone and everything, while feeling completely dead and malnourished inside. That's not me. It was me when I was younger, but not anymore. So, that's the end of the topic of this video. I hope you enjoyed my audio talking, and it was alright for you. If you want to share your viewpoints or you got any questions, whether you played Coffee Talk one or the rest of them or not, but you can relate to this topic, you could put in the comment box below. And if I don't respond straight away, it's not because I'm being rude, it's just I've got a life. But if not, I just want to thank you guys for listening anyway. I hope you continue to enjoy the channel and the different gameplay contents which I'll be looking at. I did see on Steam, correct me if I'm wrong, but I did look up on my phone, and I think Tarvin Talk Dreamwalker is rather available. It said it was available on there. The Tarvin Talk Dreamwalker, it said it was available. So I'm looking into that. Not saying I'm going to buy it soon and start playing it, but hey, Tarvin Talk is similar somewhat to Coffee Talk, and I still need to focus on buying the first one. But you know me, I'll figure it out as I go along. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.